All right, so to begin with, we're going to add a loop. So add a loop is really simple. You're going to come here to your main loop screen, loops right here when you log in, and you just go to add a loop. And basically you're going to type in an address, so 100 Main Street or something like that. And typically it's either going to populate by an address like a Google map address, or it's going to populate by an MLS listing or by another .loop file. Like if the seller's agent has created a file and it's a .loop using agent, it'll be in here as well.
Okay.
But for the purpose of this, you don't have an address yet. You're just talking about getting some initial documents to your folks, then we can just do it by their name. When you add a loop, it's always the full property address and then hyphen your client's name. So we can go back and edit the address later. For now, we'll just put in the name. So what's your client's name?
Lucas. Let me look at his last name. Rocky. Rockey.
All right, so we're not adding anything else for now. We're just going to hit continue. And then there are loop templates, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. But for the purpose of just selecting the template to get started, there's only going to be 4. Either working with buyers or working with sellers.
Okay.
And regional is where you are at the coast. Of course, triangles for any agent up here. So for now, we're just going to pick buying template regional and hit continue. And then you've created the loop. So you're going to say view loop. And you'll come up here and you'll edit the status as you work through that, and it moves through different phases. But for now, that's all you need to do for the loop to create it. And then we're going to come down here to people. You're automatically going to be in here. The admin, the closing manager is already going to be in here. Who you need to add are going to be your client, their lender, the other agent later on, and then the attorney contacts as necessary. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we're just going to add your client. So Lucas Rocky, and what's his email address?
Let me pull that up. It is LJ Rocky at gmail.com.
All right, so that's all you need to do. And then you pick the right role. So when you're adding your client as a buyer or seller, you pick buyer or seller. If you're adding the other agent, you pick listing agent or buyer agent, depending on which side you're working. Buyer's attorney here, and then you've got like loan officer here. So pretty cut and dry. We're only going to use a handful of those.
Okay.
You don't need to put in their phone number and all that. So that's it. So you see now your person is in the loop.
Right.
That's important because you'll need them in the loop so you can assign signatures and initials later on. And that's all you have to do to create a loop.
Okay.